had issues. My major issues started in class 7 when I was assaulted by a teacher. And then my parents did not really listen to me at that time.
Mine started when I lost my mom in 1996, and then I lost my dad in 2004.
It was a huge issue because it made me not attend school for a while.
Yeah, so the hard part of it was when I was in college. It was really hectic.
And then later on, they had issues, family issues. They were arguing. This time they're together, the next time they're not together, and then they use you to try and bring you them back.
Depression and anxiety have been termed by the World Health Organization as a global pandemic. 1 in every 4 adults experience depression by the age of 75. Young people of the age 18 to 25 are actually the most affected by depression. The Association of College and University Student Counselors have stated that 56.4% of all university students experience depression and anxiety in their school life. It is for this reason that we sought to find out why depression and anxiety is a major issue for young people. So, have you ever been depressed?
Yes, I have been depressed on a couple of occasions.
Have you ever been depressed?
No, I haven't.
High school, secondary school, it happened because of family issues. Just overwhelming, and then campus also because of grades. It happened quite a few times, but yeah, you get over depression.
So, what do you think causes college students to get depressed?
I think it's finances. Most students don't have finances, and they depend on their parents, and they mismanage the money and stuff. Yeah.
College students, as I said, bad grades sometimes cause you to go into depression. Also, college is a time where you're supposed to have your life into perspective. You're supposed to know what you're going to do in your future, and once you don't have that, you kind of get depressed about those things. I have been depressed about that a few times, so yeah, that can be a cause also.
You get 3 kinds of moms. The paranoid mom.
No, you could get hurt.
The cautious mom. And the Dettol mom. She only trusts Dettol antiseptic liquid to kill 100 illness-causing germs, and it's recommended for cuts and scrapes. Which is why you can worry less and love more. Don't just be any mom, be a Dettol mom. Dettol, be 100% sure. In partnership with the Kenya Medical Association.
I had a black dog. His name was Depression. Whenever the black dog made an appearance, I felt empty and life just seemed to slow down. He could surprise me with a visit for no reason or occasion. The black dog made me look and feel older than my years. When the rest of the world seemed to be enjoying life, I could only see it through the black dog. Activities that usually brought me pleasure suddenly ceased to. He liked to ruin my appetite. He chewed up my memory and my ability to concentrate. Doing anything or going anywhere with the black dog required superhuman strength. At social occasions, he'd sniff out what confidence I had and chase it away. My biggest fear was being found out. I worried that people would judge me. Because of the shame and stigma of the black dog, I was constantly worried that I'd be found out. So I invested vast amounts of energy into covering him up. Keeping up an emotional lie is exhausting. Black dog could make me think and say negative things. He could make me irritable and difficult to be around. He would take my love and bury my intimacy. He loved nothing more than to wake me up with highly repetitive and negative thinking. He also liked to remind me how exhausted I was going to be the next day. Having a black dog in your life isn't so much about feeling a bit down, sad or blue. At its worst, it's about being devoid of feeling altogether. As I got older, the black dog got bigger and he started hanging around all the time. I'd chase him off with whatever I thought might send him running. But more often than not, he'd come out on top. Going down became easier than getting up again. So I became rather good at self-medication, which never really helped. Eventually, I felt totally isolated from everything and everyone. The black dog had finally succeeded in hijacking my life.
How often are you brought to by students cases of depression and anxiety?
Yeah, sadly, very often. In a day, about people who are anxious, people who have a lot of depression cases, you can see even about 4. And then they have different, usually what happens, they have something we call like a presenting problem. So whatever is presenting could be different, but when you dig deeper, you actually find they have a lot of anxiety issues and a lot of depression. So an average of about 4 to 5 in a day.
What is depression?
Yes, that's a very good question, because some people wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or some people are moody, and when people say, why are you depressed? But actually, for us as psychologists, we actually carry out a proper assessment so that to make sure that when we say you are depressed, we know exactly what it's all about. So depression usually has like 9 symptoms, and most of the time it's when you have lost meaning in life. You wake up with feelings of hopelessness, helplessness. You no longer take joy in the things you love doing. You sleep too much or too little. You eat too much or too little. Those are the kind of things. And it has to be, those symptoms have to be persistent, like over about 2 weeks. So when we have done your history, when we ask you questions and you kind of go towards that direction, you might be diagnosed as depression.
So what are some of the reasons why students experience depression and anxiety?
Yes, some of the reasons why students experience this is that some of them, especially when they go through a traumatic time, maybe sometime they lose a loved one, and that throws them off. So even if they had that anxiety before, it is now like accelerated by that loss. They can lose a relationship, which is also devastating. Matters of the heart are not taken lightly. And you'd think somebody maybe can move on from a broken relationship, but they are not moving on. They keep on being anxious, they keep on going into depression, and some of them even become suicidal. So those are some of the few things, and some of them when they perform, like now the results were released. So based on their performance, the reaction, you'd be amazed. Some people will be like, well, I didn't perform as I would have thought, let me move on. But some of them it becomes like a catastrophe. It's like they can't move on, they get into such a deep depression. So that shows that there was something going on, it just needed an event for it to come.
I have an exam and I've not read for that exam. Can that qualify for anxiety?
Oh yeah, that's a very common one. People are like, have been partying or they have been going for missions the whole semester, and now here is the exam. And in fact, we've had a lot of cases like that. People are sent to the counseling room because they looked at the exam and they froze. In fact, one lecturer told us that the student just stared into space, so they were brought to us. So if it's a one-off, maybe that happened one-off. Usually we help you. What we do is that sometimes we go through breathing exercises, or we help you to relax so that you can go back to your normal self. But if it's persistent, if it continues, you have that attack that time, you have another one another time, then that shows that there's a deeper cause of concern. But most of the time when you just get one off, also in fact most people don't even go for help. They tell yourself, breathe, note to self, this is not the end of the world, I can do this, and most people overcome. But like if it's too many attacks and things are going wrong, that's when people now go for help.
I have seen that I don't want to see people, or maybe I don't want to eat, or I'm eating too much and I'm feeling so sad and hopeless for 2 weeks. So what should I do? Or maybe I'm feeling so anxious, I'm feeling like I want to faint, my heart is racing so much for so long. What should I do?
Yeah, that's why it's important to have people around you, very supportive, people around you who know you. Because maybe your roommates can be like, hey, what's up? You are, you're feeling sad, you're not interested in the things you used to do, and it's not one day, it has continued. And then maybe your family also notices that you're no longer the happy person, or you're always anxious, you're always, something is off. So when people around you also notice, then that is also a point of concern. So talk about it. Most people now when they go through such, some of them want to withdraw, some of them are into denial, and they're like, everything is fine, my life is okay, but you can actually feel your life is not okay. And if you want, you can now come and consult with us as counselors. That's why we are here. We are here to listen to you, we are here to work with you, and we are here if need be to have that intervention. Because most of this anxiety and depression unfortunately come because the stress was not managed before. Because you see, it was small things you didn't manage them, then they escalate and become bigger. It's like when you have a disease, if you don't treat it in time, it now unfortunately grows and becomes something else. So the same with us. So most of those small stresses, some people don't know how to cope with stress very well. You go and fail a cut, it's the end of the world. So that's why we encourage you to learn how to cope with those small things before they become big.
Now Geisha helps moms keep their family's skin so soft, smooth and fresh that sometimes clothes can't help slipping off. So for soft, smooth and fresh skin, trust Geisha's caring ingredients and feel the love.
And on the Did You Know segment of today's episode, we will look at 3 interesting facts about depression. People who use drugs and alcohol are more likely to get depressed. Depressed people are more likely to suffer from colds than non-depressed people. Exercise is the easiest and least expensive way to cure and avoid depression. That's your top 3 interesting facts about depression.
Or joy in life, you can begin to question what the point of it is. Thankfully, this was the time that I sought professional help. This was my first step towards recovery and a major turning point in my life. I learnt that it doesn't matter who you are, the black dog affects millions and millions of people. It is an equal opportunity mongrel. I also learnt that there was no silver bullet or magic pill. Medication can help some, and others might need a different approach altogether. I also learned that being emotionally genuine and authentic to those who are close to you can be an absolute game changer. Most importantly, I learnt not to be afraid of the black dog, and I taught him a few new tricks of my own. The more tired and stressed you are, the louder he barks, so it's important to learn how to quiet your mind. It's been clinically proven that regular exercise can be as effective for treating mild to moderate depression as antidepressants, so go for a walk or a run and leave the mutt behind. Keep a mood journal. Getting your thoughts on paper can be cathartic and often insightful. Also keep track of the things that you have to be grateful for. The most important thing to remember is that no matter how bad it gets, if you take the right steps, talk to the right people, black dog days can and will pass. I wouldn't say that I'm grateful for the black dog, but he's been an incredible teacher. He forced me to reevaluate and simplify my life. I learnt that rather than running away from my problems, it's better to embrace them. The black dog may always be part of my life, but he'll never be the beast that he was. We have an understanding. I've learnt through knowledge, patience, discipline and humour, the worst black dog can be made to heal. If you're in difficulty, never be afraid to ask for help. There is absolutely no shame in doing so. The only shame is missing out on life.